Hi there, this is Michelle Sterling. I live in Scarsdale, New York, and I'm the co-founder of the Scarsdale Food Scrap Recycling Program. You might have seen the earlier video where I talked about the what, how, and why of food scrap recycling, and now I'm going to go through the frequently asked questions with respect to food scrap recycling. So one of the things that people often ask is with respect to the food scrap recycling starter kit, which are the bins that you use for the program, do you have to use these bins? Most people do use the bins because the municipalities buy them in bulk and offer them at cost, so that it's very inexpensive. But you do not have to use these bins. So basically, if you want, you can go to Home Depot and get your orange Home Depot $5 bucket, or use a plastic kitty litter bucket, anything with a lid. You can instead of using the starter kit countertop pail, you can use a fancy stainless steel one or a ceramic one, anything you want to collect your food scraps and to transport them to the food scrap drop-off spot is great by us. So no, you do not have to use the bin. Other people have requested a liner bag for this bin. So just to let you know that all the towns doing the program, not only do they offer a compostable liner bag for the countertop pail, but they also offer a compostable liner bag for this bin. So, the way this works is the rolls are 25 bags to a roll. And so some people actually like to just line this bin. And some people actually go straight in, put their food scraps and tissues, napkins, and paper towels, because that's what's accepted. Some people just put them straight into this bin. Or some people take all the little bags from this pail and then they put it into here and sort of do a double lining. Whatever makes people comfortable is fine by us and works. Where you get the food scrap recycling starter kit depends upon the town. In Scarsdale, they're for sale both at Village Hall at the Parks Department desk and also at the Scarsdale Recycling Center at the office there. But in every town, the town offers the food scrap recycling starter kit, so you can get it. You would just find that out from your town. In terms of purchasing additional compostable bags, we sell them at cost here in Scarsdale, so not making a profit on it. None of the towns are. We buy them at bulk. We get them inexpensively, so it's a lot less expensive than buying them online. It's less than half the price. And again, you can get them wherever you get your food scrap recycling starter kit. So either, and you can get any of the sizes, the liner bags for these or the liner bags for those. But again, you are not, if I didn't mention this before, you are not required to use any compostable liner bags. So some people like to go straight into their pail and not use any compostable liner bags, and that's totally fine. Then you just need to actually clean your pail out, obviously, because you'll have food going directly into it, but it's totally fine not to use a compostable liner bag. And as I'm talking about compostable bags, I should just mention that what compostable means is plant-based. So if you choose, let's say, to use a bag off the internet, you just have to make sure that it says COM, compostable. That's kind of hard right there. And what compostable means is plant-based. So some people will see like a green biodegradable bag or a bag that says biodegradable or eco-friendly. And a biodegradable bag doesn't actually mean it's a compostable bag, because there's biodegradable plastic. And what that means is that it has a chemical in it that makes the plastic break down into tiny little bits. And if any plastic goes in here, that's actually a contaminant. So you can't have biodegradable bags. You can only have compostable, or in other words, plant-based bags for this program, if you choose to use a bag. Some people like to know, is there going to be any smell or mess? I know I mentioned it in my last video, but there's no smell, there's no ants, there's no fruit flies. This is we've been doing this since 2017 in Scarsdale. It's now 2020, over 3 years, and the program's been growing tremendously every year, which is great. And it's because it is a very clean, neat, easy program. Remember, when you put your food scraps in here, in your kitchen, it's actually no different than putting them in the trash bin in your kitchen. They're still in your kitchen, they're just in a different spot. And they're in a better spot because they're in a spot where where they're going to then be recycled. In terms of, a lot of people ask what happens to all of this after it leaves here. So after you bring it to the drop-off site, what does the town do with it? So it gets picked up by a private carting company, comes with a truck to pick it up, and they take it outside of Westchester County to a composting facility, because currently our county does not have a composting facility. Hopefully it will soon, and the county is looking into that. So it goes to a commercial composting facility where they then turn it into compost. They just mix it with wood chips, actually, which is a carbon source. Food scraps are a nitrogen source. They mix it with wood chips, and it naturally breaks down and turns into compost, and then it gets sold to garden centers, landscapers, farmers. They come with big trucks and they take it by the cubic yard, and they use it to grow more food. So this is really, why we call this closed loop living, because the food scraps come from the soil, they turn back into soil, and it just sort of continues in a closed loop, and it's a waste-free loop, and that really actually is what sustainable living is. Just in terms of what the difference is between backyard composting and this kind of composting. So a lot of people do backyard composting. I actually have backyard composted for many years. I still do. In a backyard composting system, you put in fruit and vegetable scraps, coffee grounds, and eggshells. And it works great. It breaks down into beautiful compost, and you can use it in your garden. We highly encourage people to backyard compost. But this program is different because this program takes all food. So not just fruit and vegetable scraps, coffee grounds and eggshells, but meat, bones, fish, dairy, bread, rice, pasta, tissues, napkins, paper towels, bamboo chopsticks, wooden popsicle sticks, parchment paper, wax paper, anything from nature can go into this program. And the main difference between backyard composting and composting in a commercial facility is actually backyard composting is called cold composting, and composting at a commercial composting facility is called hot composting. So your backyard composter generally gets up to about 100 degrees, which is really pretty hot, so it's kind of funny that it's called cold composting. But a commercial composting facility, they get up to about 160 or 170 degrees. So that's why at a commercial composting facility, so where these scraps go, you can put things such as meat and bones and fish and dairy, all the things you can't normally put in a backyard system, you can put into this system, because at those temperatures, it literally just disintegrates pretty immediately in those piles and turns into compost. So people ask, why should we compost? Obviously, it's very important to take waste out of the waste stream. Any waste we can take out of the waste stream is great in terms of recycling it into a new product. So there are reasons why we should be doing it, which is basically to recycle and to put our food scraps to its highest purpose. So for example, if you put a bone in here, a bone doesn't have nutritional density to us, or even peels or rinds. They don't have nutritional density to us, but actually bones and peels and rinds do have nutritional density, and they can be recycled into food. In fact, we call it the original recycling. There's also reasons why you don't want to be putting food into the waste stream. Obviously, you want to eliminate as much as you can from the waste stream. Westchester County, we're a 100% incineration county. Food is mostly water, so we don't want to be burning water. It doesn't help our incinerators at all. And we want to really just put everything into the most beneficial use that we can. So those are the main whys about why we should be composting. And that's basically it. Some people ask about other natural products, like some people say, what about cork? Cork comes from a cork tree, so wine corks, absolutely. Put them in here. Some people ask about rubber bands. So rubber bands, they used to come from a rubber tree plant, right? We all know the song. But now rubber bands are synthetic. So rubber bands need to be taken off before they go in here, right? This is only for natural products, but really anything from nature can go in here. Some people ask, well, can I just get these bags and put them into my pull-out garbage bin, I pull out from my cabinet, you can absolutely do that. You can line your pull-out with this. Some people put this bin into their pull-out. Some people put this bin into their pull-out. So whatever works for you works for us. Work with it. Even send us suggestions. Some people send us pictures about different configurations in their kitchen, which is always really helpful. Any questions, you can email me directly at michellesterling1, the number 1, at gmail.com or composting@scarsdale.com. Thanks for trying food scrap recycling, and that's it.